For no more than $30,000, the Volkswagen Jetta gets you a usable technology suite, especially here in its top-level SEL trim. So in today's video, we're going to show you how to use the 8-inch center touchscreen that all new Jettas have, as well as the 10.25 digital gauge cluster found on this SEL, and I believe the GLI models as well. We're going to try to answer any questions you might have, show you how to pair up a phone, and use Apple Carplay and Android Auto, as well as the voice commands. Now, first things first, if you want to see more on the new Jetta, check the link below. We've got a full review, a dedicated review of the Beats audio sound system, and a fuel economy test. And if you've just recently purchased a Jetta or you're spending extended time in one, I highly recommend you take some time static in your driveway or parking lot, somewhere safe, and learn how to use your vehicle. Get familiar with the controls. You'll enjoy using it that much more. First things first, before we get into the screens, let's take a look around the vehicle at the controls. Way over here on the left, not much, just a light control. And then on the steering wheel, you see a good array of physical controls. I like the physical button steering wheels from Volkswagen. You got volume on the left, as well as cruise control information. Over on the right, track selection, voice command, heated steering wheel, nice button for that. And then commands for the digital cockpit that we're going to control here in a moment. Making our way over to the center, we see the 8-inch touchscreen, as well as some physical controls on the right and left for adjusting media and getting to elements of the infotainment system. Down here, physical controls for the climate control. Now, I know they're not technically buttons, but I actually appreciate using them quite a lot. They respond nicely. They're not a weird haptic control or anything like that. They're just touch controls, and they work pretty well. I'm just glad there's a physical dedicated area for them. Then down here, you have your engine stop-start, electronic parking brake, engine stop-start, disabling, drive mode, and then over on the right, all a bunch of just blank switches and a little 12-volt outlet there. Making our way into the digital gauge pit, or digital cockpit, whatever Volkswagen calls it here in front of us, we have some customizability. We're going to get to that in a moment, but you'll likely see it on this screen setup right now. Starting way over on the left, we have a meter for engine coolant temp. And then making our way across, we've got a tachometer, the gear selection. Up on the top, we've got the compass, and then the middle, a clock. Over on the right, outside temperature. The center area of the screen is customizable. We're going to see that in a moment. Way down at the bottom, you have your trip meter, seatbelt status, some active lane keeping status, and then your odometer. On the right, an analog gauge cluster and a digital speed. And then way over on the right, a meter for your fuel gauge. We control the screen with these buttons here on the right side of the steering wheel. First things first, you can press View, and the gauge cluster goes to different screen setups here. So there's 3, 4, okay, actually just 3 different options here. So this one has sort of your fake gauges there. And then you press one more and you get a little bit more of a simplified setup. It just shows you your digital speed, gear, actually shows your digital speed twice, but that's because the center area is customizable, which we're going to see here in a moment. And then once more, this is kind of an information-heavy screen without the fake gauges. So let's go back and customize what we see in this center screen. By pressing up and down, you see different information within this driving data menu. We can get speed, oil temperature, trip, fuel economy, an overview, which shows you both distance, time, average speed, and average fuel economy, and then range is your last option there. But then, if you use the right and left buttons, you can go to different menus, including assist systems, navigation, audio, telephone, and vehicle status. And then we make our way back to driving data. You can see if we bring up navigation, you get a little bit of a navigation screen there, but it's not very large. That's when you press this view button again, and then you get that full screen, and you can use the up and down buttons to zoom in and out. You could drive around and have that map right in front of you. And then if you press view one more time, you get sort of that split screen with the information on the right and left, and then the map in the middle. So a good amount of customization there. You can kind of bring up the type of information that you want to see most regularly. I usually have it on something like this overview screen, and then the gauges, because I like having those there. And I believe those will change color if we change the ambient lighting color in the center screen, but we'll see that here in a moment. Making our way to the center screen. Like I said earlier, we have physical controls on the left and right. You've got radio, media, phone, voice. the volume, which you can press to turn the screen into this standby mode. Navigation app, that'll get you quickly to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and then a little physical rotary control that sometimes works to navigate you through menus and sometimes doesn't, and then car, and then menu. On top of all that, you can technically operate the screen by swiping your hand across the screen, but it doesn't work very well. There we go. And I don't understand why Volkswagen thought this was necessary to sort of implement, because it's not very useful, but technically speaking, it exists. There we go. Then you can also pull down from the top and get adjustability for your lighting at night. This is for both the instrument cluster in front of you and then this screen right here. And then quick toggles for muting audio, guidance to home, voice guidance, sound adjustments, and any notifications you might have. Let's start up at the top right with radio. Here's what your radio looks like. This is a Sirius XM. You can go through all of the different channels, set presets, and then you can click down here for different sources. If you want to go to something like FM radio, same sort of thing. You can go through, see your presets. If we wanted to make 94.7 a preset, you'd simply hold that, and then there you go. Coming down to media, same sort of concept. You see something that is playing on either your USB drive or maybe your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Continuing down to phone, if you had a phone paired up via Bluetooth, you'd see your phone calls and your text messages and contacts right here. Most people are going to be using wireless CarPlay or Android Auto though. Continuing down, you see voice. We'll use that later on when we show you voice commands. Then up top on the right, you have navigation. This is a fairly basic navigation screen, but the contrasts are nice. It does show you information you're going to want to see. Some people might just use this as sort of a map. If you switch it to north up, come on, there's north up. Now you can kind of zoom out and just have it sort of like a map. Well, I'll show you how it looks when navigating when we do voice commands. Then down here in app, like I said, you press that to get to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. We'll do that later on. Then under car, you see information about your driving, either since start, long term, or since refueling. You can bring that up and adjust what information you see in your digital cockpit. Oh, okay, see, I hadn't gotten to this yet. You can actually change what the digital cockpit looks like, right? Why isn't that changing? View 1. Yeah, and you can change the information that's in the center. Okay. Yeah, so that we can see fuel economy, we can see more of a time and distance, and we can actually change manually what we see over on the left and right. Very cool. Very nice. Swiping that through, distance, travel time, assistance system. Good bit of customization right there. You can also get through to your tire pressure monitoring system here, as well as see if the vehicle's got any issues. Then all the way down to the bottom right with menu, this is kind of like your home screen. This is going to show you all of the different applications in the car without getting to them via these physical buttons. So we've seen radio and telephone and navigation. Under assist systems, it's going to show you kind of a basic screen for how to turn on and off some of your assist systems, like blind spot monitoring, front assist, and lane keeping systems. Coming back to menu. Media, we saw that. App Connect, saw that. Vehicle, saw that. Sound, that's going to be how you adjust your treble, mid-range, bass, and subwoofer with the audio system, as well as your front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. Then you can scroll over and see climate control. Now, side note, can we readjust where these things are? Yes, you can press and hold and move these around if there are applications you use more frequently. But climate control, it's another way to adjust these climate controls that we have down in the physical. Coming back, we have legal notices, nothing really to see there. And then set up my VW, you're going to want to do this once you first use the car to set up the vehicle for your preferences. Let's get into the settings screen now. Now, we're not going to go through every nitty-gritty detail and setting, but try to highlight the ones that you might find useful. Under screen, we've got screen brightness adjustment right here. This is going to be during the daylight, right? Yes, okay. Animation when finger is near screen, we saw that. So if you pull your finger away, such as right here in radio, the screen's going to change a little bit, and then when you bring your finger up, it's going to kind of look a little different. Display time when in standby mode, that's when you do this. If you want to see the clock up there, you can also scroll through the different clocks. Backseat passenger reminder tone, when you turn the vehicle off, you're going to get a little chime to make sure you check to see if you've left anything in the back seat. And a few other tones and hand gestures that you can turn on or off there. Coming back. Quick side note, I don't love how the back button is way over in the top right. It requires a lot more hand movement to get to. Time and date, if you wanted to adjust your time and date settings, you could do that here, but by default it's just going to be set via the GPS. Language, you can choose between English, Spanish, and French. More keypad languages. Okay, you can change keypad languages between Spanish and French. Voice operation, you can customize the voice operation commands, and you can also choose a wake word. Okay, can you custom wake word? Yo, yo, yo. Oh, okay. Type in a wake word. What would be a good one to do? Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama. Hey, wow, it works. Oh, that's pretty goofy. All right, enter. Oh, you could also enter a wake word by voice. Boy, that can be abused. So we'll see that a little bit more in a little bit. Coming back. Wi-Fi. You can use the infotainment system as a hotspot if you set it up and pay for it monthly. That'll allow you to have an internet connection via Wi-Fi for kids' devices or work laptops, something like that. Coming back. Manage mobile devices. If you wanted to add another device via Bluetooth, do that there. We'll see that later. Restore factory settings. When you go to sell the vehicle, you're going to want to restore your factory settings, clear out any information that might be saved on there. That is about it for the system settings. Pretty basic. Alright, now we'll show you voice commands. Now, not going to have a whole lot of advanced commands with this vehicle. It's not something like an Android Automotive-based system that's got an assistant, but we can do basic things like, thanks, Obama. Navigate to the nearest Starbucks.
Oh, I still have to learn about that.
Oh, okay. Navigate to Lake Forest, California.
Okay, Lake Forest, California. Drive safely.
Alright, so
please follow the road for 200 feet.
Pretty straightforward.
Now turn sharp left.
It's kind of a nice voice. Hey Volkswagen is off, isn't it? You can also adjust, activate the voice commands with this button here on the steering wheel. Cancel navigation.
Stopping route guidance.
What's the weather like tomorrow?
Oh, I still have to learn about that.
Okay. Set the climate to 61 degrees.
Climate control functions cannot be controlled by voice operation.
That seems a little bit silly considering you have it in the infotainment system. So like I said, pretty basic voice command in the Jetta here. Now let's show you how to pair up an iPhone, and I'm just now realizing that I left my iPhone at home, so we're going to have to jump to another set of footage right now. Now we've got our trusty iPhone 13. In order to pair it up via Bluetooth, you're going to want to go to the settings screen on your iPhone, go to Bluetooth, and then in the vehicle you want to go to Menu, Settings, and then down to Manage Mobile Devices. And you'll see it pop up on the screen right here, your iPhone. You're going to click that, and then press Apple Carplay, use Apple CarPlay. And then you have a pairing request on the phone. Press pair and allow. Connect. And there you are, Apple CarPlay popping up. Looking nice here. Like I said, fairly smaller screen, so pretty big icons taking up the screen, 4x2. Our Google Maps is not loaded because this phone does not have a data connection. But you can see what it'd look like with the maps on the left, music on the right. Bring up your YouTube music as well. Yeah, very simple, straightforward. Not the best refresh rate, but everything works decently. And you can get back to the Volkswagen different menus using the physical controls or pressing Volkswagen right there. Okay, how about Android Auto? Let's fire up our Android device, get it connected here. There we are, Android Auto working wirelessly, taking up the entire screen. It's not a huge screen, but still functional here. You've got your main display with the navigation and media and quick toggles. You can bring up all of your applications. Scroll through. Let's bring up Maps full screen. Move around. Pinch to zoom. Navigate. Let's bring up media. Go to YouTube Music here. Hit the Super Mix, see what we're getting today. Some Linkin Park. Been listening to more of them lately. And home, you see the media plan and the navigation. Alright, so there it is. Basic infotainment system here in the Volkswagen Jetta, but for the price, good amount of tech, and it works decently well. The screen's responsive, if not the most advanced, and for this class of vehicle, there is definitely worse. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully I answered all of your questions. If there's anything I can help you with, drop a comment. I'll try to answer retroactively, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.